Good morning, everyone. It is 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It's Thursday, July 11, 2019, 60 degrees outside. Looking for a high in the 80s today. Looking pretty good. So, Shea Matavin on the line with me, half man, half amazing, and Cantaloupe.
You Cantaloupe.
Yeah, with a cold, with a summer cold.
Oh, yeah, summer cold. You have a mystery caller, so I don't know who it is.
A mystery caller? We don't have a caller.
No? Okay.
Yeah, we don't. We do have a text message, though.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. 478-8298 is our text line. It says the 5 a.m. radio show is a total shot show rodeo and insult to our intelligence. Well, that's intentional. We put a unintelligent show on before Shane and I, so we look better. That's why we have that dumb show on at 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's what is it, morning radio or morning USA or something? I don't know. It's some recorded crap. Yeah, it's yeah, it's not. It's well, whatever. Anyway, we got to have something in there to fill the void.
It's a filler.
It's a filler. Yeah, it's just a filler. Yeah. But it does make us look smarter, I hope.
Well, I'd like to think so.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll find.
And now the weather is working with you, so
yeah,
this is good.
The weather's working with me, man.
That's right. Now you're a stand-up guy because you're right on the weather.
I'm right on the weather. Yeah, no hail yesterday, so.
Wow.
There we are. Well, we got a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms today, mainly after 5 p.m. It'll be Sunday, sunny with a high near 86 and supposed to be pretty nice today. Tonight, got about a 40% chance of thunderstorms and showers in the evening, mainly between 7 and 9 p.m. Mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low around 59, 60 degrees somewhere in there. So should be a pretty nice day today. Tomorrow, on the other hand, we've got afternoon thunderstorms heading in, probably for your commute home. 86, though, will be the high, 55 the overnight low, but we do have a little, about a quarter inch of a rain, maybe more in some areas. But Saturday looks pretty good. 88 be the high, 56 the low, mostly sunny all day. Some chances of rain in the late afternoon and early evening. And then on Sunday, same story. Thunderstorms come in the afternoon, but we got a high of 83, low of 54. And then Monday, for your commute back to work, it's mostly sunny, of course. 79 degrees and 53 be the overnight low. So pretty good weekend. Little thunderstorms here and there, but nothing too serious. So enjoy yourself out there.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, our poll question of the day, which fast food joint serves the best French fries in Bozeman? Which fast food joint serves the best French fries in Bozeman? You'll want to vote on that, I'm sure. And right now, McDonald's is in the lead, so go vote.
Okay, so what is it particularly about McDonald's? I like them when they're hot.
Yeah,
they're worthless if they're cold.
Yeah, if they're cold, they're not too good. But if you can get them right out of the that basket they put them in, you're styling.
I have a secret for you. Guaranteed you fresh hot French fries every time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, order them with no salt.
Well, you could do that. Yeah. Then they have to make them for you.
Fresh,
yeah, because they dump them in the thing and they throw the salt shaker all over it, and then
But if you order them without salt, they got to make it right away without salt.
So you carry your own salt in your glove box, huh?
No, you just ask them for salt.
Oh, I want them without salt, but can I have some salt, please?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that'll work. Well, our poll question yesterday was hot dog a sandwich or not a sandwich, and no way a hot dog is a hot dog got 66% of the vote and 33% for yes, definitely a kind of sandwich. So
there you go.
Hot dog's a hot dog, or I don't know. Take it or leave it.
Okay. I'll leave it.
Okay. Well, on this day in history, guess what happened? England's at it again. 1533, England's King Henry VIII was excommunicated.
Yeah, well, when you turn into a man, a maness. That's what the guy was, and he just, he wanted his way, and we talked enough about him.
Yeah, they said no.
Yeah,
you go. Yeah.
So he started his own church. Wow.
Yeah, there you are.
That's power. Yeah.
Well, in 1767, John Quincy Adams, the sixth president of the United States, was born in Braintree, Mass.
Remarkable too. He
was quite a guy.
Had quite a storied career from a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
He was the sixth president of the United States, eighth United States Secretary of State. He was also a U.S. Senator from Massachusetts. And, of course, his father was the second president of the United States. But nothing really profound. He was in office from March 4th, 1825 to March 4th, 1829. And the 1824 election, he contested against Andrew Jackson. No one won. So the Congress had to elect the new president, and they picked him over Andrew Jackson,
mm-hmm.
who came back 4 years later and won the election.
Yeah, quite a guy. Yeah.
So what's famous about him is he's the only president that was elected by the Assembly of the Congress. So there you go.
Yeah. And one of, I guess, only two that the son was also elected, and he would be
correct.
Him being the son. Yeah.
Yeah, him being the son,
of John Adams, who was also president. So, and Bush being the other,
and
the father
the Bush family, of course.
Yeah. So
two American dynasties.
Yeah. From our text line 478-8298, best burger. Maybe we should do that tomorrow. Which fast food has the best burger tomorrow? Maybe we'll do that. So we'll see. So. Let's see. Also, in 1798, the U.S. Marine Corps was created by an act of Congress.
Yeah, and a particular reason of this, of course, is the United States was a maritime country because of their trading with Europe. And so it was sort of important that the U.S. Navy have a secure force, a naval force. So they established the United States Marines to protect the Navy on ships.
Mm-hmm.
And
why couldn't the Navy protect itself?
Well, because they were, busy, floating the boat. So, they needed Marines to protect them.
Okay. Busy floating the boat, huh?
Floating the boat, yeah.
Okay, yeah, they were busy sailing, in the going in the right direction, I guess. And what if they bumped into the Marines? They go left or starboard or whatever that is.
243 years ago.
Well, they needed somebody to deal with the Barbary pirates too.
Well, that was under Jefferson, under Jefferson. And prior to the War of 1812, they had to go to Tripoli and attack those Barbary pirates from the hulls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Ah, there you go.
182,000 presently active, 38,000 in reserve. That in comparison to the 2 million they had during World War II. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's under the U.S. Department, of course, and it's rather interesting. They, it's an established force, and the decorations they have are actually quite impressive compared to the other military departments.
Mm-hmm.
Semper Fidelis is their motto, and forever is it fidelity? Yeah, there you go. Oh, and John Philip Sousa. This is a great thing. In 1888, he wrote the song for the Marine Corps. So there you go. He's a great guy. We should talk about him one day because he's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1804, Vice President Aaron Burr mortally wounded former Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton in a pistol duel near Weehawken, New Jersey. Yeah,
he was one of the early founding fathers, third Vice President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a tangle with Alexander Hamilton, and there was a famous duel in 1804, and he was the Vice President to Thomas Jefferson. And they got in an argument and had a duel, and he killed Alexander Hamilton. He never charged for it, but it ruined his political career. He went west and tried to involve himself in some business dealings. Didn't work. Went to Europe to work. Didn't work, and came home at the end of his life till he was 80. He had a law practice in New York City.
All right. We got to take care of the ranchers, farmers, truck drivers, cab drivers, Lyft drivers, Uber drivers. I don't know. The list is endless. People we got to take care of it.
Tom's cab driver.
That's right, man. If they bring you booze or they bring you food or they bring you clothing, we got to honor those folks because they work hard, and we would be in tough straits without them. So
that's right.
Here is the Montana News in Ag. 22 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It is Thursday, July 11, 2019, 59 degrees outside. Shane Taubman on the line with me. And, we're talking about this day in history. And on this day in history in 1859, Big Ben, the great bell inside the famous London clock tower, chimed for the first time. 1859, Shane, before the Civil War even.
I know, isn't that incredible? And here's some fascinating things about it, which is why it's so important. 315 feet tall and 334 steps to climb to the belfry. It's measured 34 feet, 12 inches on each side. Mm-hmm. And the dials on the clock are 23 feet long. Now, the interesting thing about the fascination of this is it was built, as you said, in, what was it? Sorry.
1859.
1859. Mm-hmm. Now, it was built at Westminster. Now, Westminster used to be, or Westminster, which is now the where the government sits, used to be the original palace for the royal family. And it's quite fascinating that they gave it up because Queen Victoria came along in the middle of the 1850s and built Buckingham Palace for them to move to. So there you go, folks. A lot of people may not know that originally it was on the Thames, which was the best mode of traffic for, 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. And that's why the royal house was in that palace.
All right.
That palace in Westminster Abbey. There you go.
Okay. You didn't say there you go, did you?
I pretended.
1914. Baseball Hall of Famer Babe Ruth made his major league debut as a pitcher for the Red Sox at Fenway Park in Boston. Quite an athlete, Babe Ruth was, yeah. Man. What a guy. He did it all, man.
And a personality. The great thing about him was he was a personality, and especially for the kids. I mean, he was incredible. He was probably one of the first famous baseball players to take such an interest in children because he'd grown up an orphan and so far and to be able to point at where you're going to hit a home run.
Yeah,
wow,
that was quite a thing. Nobody's done that since, or nobody's attempted to do it since. But
no, exactly. Yeah.
Guy who changed the game. I mean, he was hitting more home runs as an individual than teams were as a team at the time.
But of course, everybody brings up the point that he struck out more than any other baseball, player in history.
1,300 times, I think, or over 1,300 times. Yeah.
But at least he swung.
Yeah, I think he had a home run something like every 11 times at bat or something like that. So,
yeah, incredible.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah, and they used to count home runs if they bounced into the stands too. If they bounced, now they're ground rule doubles, but if they bounced into the stands in the old days, they were still considered a home run. So.
My goodness, a baseball aficionado.
Yeah, well, I was a big baseball fan as a kid. Played baseball, of course, and Babe Ruth was a guy that I found out a lot about, and used to tip people $100 bills, and that was in the 1900s. Man, that was big bucks. I mean, that was like that was 2 months' pay to some people.
That's right. Back then. Yeah, so, that'd be like $1,000.
Oh yeah, it was pretty big bucks. So. 1952, the Republican National Convention meeting in Chicago nominated Dwight D. Eisenhower for president and Richard M. Nixon for vice president, and there was no riots there during that time.
Well, he was up against Adlai Stevenson again, and so it wasn't unexpected. The Republicans had to sort of convince him. It really wasn't something he wanted to do. But reasoning was, of course, the Korean War at the time, right?
Yeah.
And so they wanted him to come in because they knew that probably he was best qualified to resolve the issue. And of course, he put MacArthur in there, and well, yeah, he didn't put MacArthur in there, but he backed MacArthur.
Yeah. Well, and also too, the Civil War ended 7 years earlier, so he was, a big deal at that time. And they felt, tell you, if you could lead the invasion of Europe, you ought to be able to lead the country.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah, that's
right. Sounded good to me. I don't know. So anyway, he I don't know if that was reluctantly he agreed to run, or whether he threw his hat in the ring and went through all the debates. I don't think they had all that stuff then.
No, the first presidential debate was Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon and Kennedy on TV.
Kennedy, 1960. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we didn't have all that primary stuff, whatever.
Anyways, he served 2 full terms.
Yeah.
And was very successful. He's famous for creating infrastructure concept ideas like the National Highway Act. And some guy commenting about it yesterday about the road was already there. Yeah, it was a donkey road, right?
Yeah.
The roads around the U.S. are like 1-lane dirt roads,
Well, I can remember back when that was going on, because you would drive, someplace and you would see a bridge. They built the bridges first before they built the highways. So all the bridges were in. So you'd be driving along, and here's this bridge out in the middle of some field somewhere. But anyway, that's where the highway was eventually going to go.
Oh, yeah, and they developed an incredible concept of engineering for the highways because of the anticipated weight load on it and everything. Yeah. And it started outside of Kansas City with the first mile of cement road, and the rest is history. But, he's the one who initiated that because of the concern he had in World War II about what the potential for the Japanese to get to Chicago before the Americans could stop them. That was
it. That was it, yeah. So, I don't know. Well, in 1955, the Air Force Academy was dedicated at Lowry Air Base in Colorado, and that seems kind of late, but I guess we didn't have a lot of air. Well, we had air in the Second World War, obviously.
Yeah, and then the jets had come along finally, so their endowment is $47 million. I would think that they probably spend more than that to run it, but 4,237 cadets.
All right. We got to pay some bills here, so we got Montana State News coming up, Fox News, Bert Foster weather, and Babel, and snoring, and Mark Levin, and this show has everything, man. It's just never ending. We'll be right back with more right after this. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It is Thursday, June 11, 2019, 59 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the 80s today, so little thunderstorms in the afternoon, but nothing serious. So hopefully it will be a good day for you. It's Thursday, one more day of the week to go, Shane. I don't know if we'll make it or not, but we'll see. From our text line, Five Boys Restaurant is also in the fries, so I added them as an answer. Ale Works, I added them as an answer, and been relying on Belgrade Taxi. No apps, nice people. They are nice people over there. I usually call the Belgrade Taxi service if I need a ride somewhere, and so I thought your best show was like last Wednesday. So, okay. So there you are. Thanks for that. So I'm excited. Let's see. Also from our text line, I think maybe your previous texter was trying to tell you that the burger stand Best Burger has the best fries. So I put Best Burger in as an answer over there. And that was from one of our texters. And I haven't heard of the Best Burger, and but that I don't get out much.
Yeah, you don't.
I sleep. I sleep and I'm here.
All right,
that's about all I do.
Get it done.
That's right. All right. Well, that clears up our text line, and let's see. 1960 on this date, To Kill a Mockingbird, I should say. Harper Lee's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel was published. She was Truman Capote Confederate, and helped him with In Cold Blood, I believe, or travel with him while he was doing In Cold Blood. So, Kill a Mockingbird, great book, great movie.
Yep, Atticus Finch. What a great character. I mean, And the over-the-top faction is the movie. It outdid the book.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. It was so well done. And that's the challenge of making a movie from a book. But great story about a Southern gentleman lawyer that defended a black man accused of raping a white woman. And, it's a great, this is a great movie or book that all children in the U.S. should read about with all this anger about, slavery. And, there's several, we talked about this several weeks ago.
True.
On a Friday. So, yeah. But your children should read it. You should watch this movie with them every year. It's a great indicator about racism and what it really means.
Yeah, sort of told from Atticus Finch's daughter's perspective.
Exactly, third person.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Also on this date in 1977, the Medal of Freedom was awarded posthumously to the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in a White House ceremony.
Yeah, it was established in 1963 by President John F. Kennedy. Of course, the Medal of Freedom was established by President Harry S. Truman. And then the Congressional Gold Medal, and it goes on. And
on and on and on. Yeah.
There are several American medals granted either by the president or cabinet members have a medal that they can give to. So, they're narcissistic people in Washington, so they all want to have a medal to prove it.
That's right. Yeah. Well, highest civilian honor a person can receive in the United States, I guess. So
it is a great honor,
regardless of which medal you get. I guess they're all alike.
That's right. And you get a very nice medal, and you get a service ribbon you can wear like daily, like a little pin.
Right. Yeah.
And you get a sash that you can wear when you go to a formal dinner.
All right. Wow. Man,
it's very, very 18th century.
You get the whole deal there. So
yeah, it's a big box.
All right, we got to take another. We got to take another quick break. We'll be right back with more right after this. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, July 11th, 2019. 59 degrees outside. Shane and Tobin on the line with me. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and we're happy to be here with you. Thanks for taking us along with you. And in 1979, on this date, the abandoned U.S. Space Station Skylab returned to Earth, burning up in the atmosphere and showering debris over the Indian Ocean and Australia.
Yeah, it was, and you remember this. We watched this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a 170,000-pound lab that was lifted off Cape Canaveral on a Saturn V rocket. And the long-term plan was to continue to take more modules up, but they decided that the difficulty of people staying in space was not very good. Anyway, it was in the air from May 1973 till February 1974, or occupied for about 24 weeks. And as Tom said, in 79, it finally fell back to Earth. But they learned a lot about space at the time. They didn't know, and it's dangerous.
And now we have people that are staying up there much longer than they stayed initially. And whether or not it's good or bad for them, the twins, one of them went up, changed his DNA. So
that's right.
There you go. We're not sure what space does to you, but so I don't know. It's
we live as a species.
Complicated. It's a complicated situation.
As a species, we live in a very narrow band of air pressure and so forth. So, and gravity. Yeah. So space is not very good for us.
Yeah. When those things are taken away, it's has an effect, adverse effect, I guess.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, in 1995, the United States normalized relations with Vietnam 25 years after the war ended, I guess, or 20 years after the war ended.
20 years, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And
I'm math challenged this time of morning.
Yeah, that's okay. I am too. Anyway, it's interesting because New Zealand played a big role in this, in getting the Americans to talk to Vietnam again. Now, because of what Barack Obama did finally in May of 2016, normalizing relations and announcing the lifting of an arms embargo on sales of lethal arms to Vietnam. The floodgates, so to speak, have now opened, and Vietnam now belongs to 63 different international organizations and has a very glowing and prosperous economy based on socialist fascism. So it's a similar economy to China's. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in 2007, on this date, former First Lady Lady Bird Johnson, that's hard to say, huh? Lady Bird, died in Austin, Texas at the age of 94.
And her fame, and rightfully so, was cleaning up the Americans' highways and stopping people from throwing garbage. You remember as kids?
Oh, yeah.
I do, right?
Yeah, you just threw it out the window. Yeah, you just tossed it out the window.
Yeah, you'd be driving up the highway, and all of a sudden, the car in front of you, they open a window and throw out a big bag of garbage, or
right, yeah,
something from a fast food
restaurant. Yeah, there you go.
I'm like, wow, I'm like, whoa.
Anyway,
she flowered the highways and tried to get them clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that started the where you would. Businesses would commit to cleaning a mile or so of highway or half a mile or whatever it was, and they put a little sign up that so-and-so is cleaning up this part of the highway. And that helped, and the littering ordinances around various cities and states also helped, that if anybody saw you throwing something out, you could be fined or whatever. So
that's right.
Yeah, so folks kind of took that to heart. Born on this date, E.B. White, American author, editor of The New Yorker, born on this date in 1899. And John Quincy Adams, we mentioned earlier, born on this date in 1767, lived to 80. And let's see, some other folks. Georgiana Barrymore, I would guess she was the mother of Lionel Barrymore.
I think so, yeah, because the family's been in the theater industry like for 5 generations, right?
Yeah. And, if you're Lionel Barrymore, of course, the best known of the Barrymore family, I guess, played Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life, if you want to know who he is. So
yeah, that
was him, arguably one of the greatest actors of all time, if you want to go after that, certainly.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. And also Rudolf Abel, a Russian spy imprisoned by the U.S. in 1957, born on this date in 1903, died at the age of 68. And Yul Brynner, King and I, born on this date in 1920, died in 1985 of cancer, lung cancer.
Unbelievable talent, yeah. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable talent, yeah.
65 years old when he died. So, but quite a, Magnificent Seven. He ran that show. Sure. Yeah.
The King and I. He was famous for, one of the longest running Broadway plays of all time. Mm-hmm. And then he toured with it around the country.
Yeah,
one of the first people to tour with a Broadway play, yes.
All right. That'll wrap it up for this day in history. We got to take another short break here. Let's see. How long are we out? Oh, we're only out 2 minutes. So we'll be back.
Hey.
We'll be back in 120 seconds. Count them with me. 120, 119, 118. 7 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. And it's, 7 minutes till the hour of 7 a.m., I guess I should say. Yeah. Thursday, July 11, 2019, 60 degrees outside. Shane Matabin on the line with me. And I was listening to that timeshare ad, Shane, right before, and it reminded me one of the first jobs I ever had. We had a lobbyist from Mississippi who went to Washington to lobby for our company. And his major complaint was that with a Southern accent, you don't sound very smart.
Really?
And, he was saying a lot of people didn't take him seriously because of his Mississippi accent.
Wow.
And I was thinking of this guy here, talking about the timeshares and,
exactly.
I quit my job and went to, I was, I'm thinking back to that guy and I'm thinking, I wonder if this guy's accent turns people off. I ain't letting no Southern Bubba take care of it, try to get me out of my timeshare. That's ridiculous. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to think about that as to how that works. So anyway, it just kind of reminded me.
You're right about that. It's incredible because the reference to people's ability to speak has an awful lot to do with how people treat them. It is a rather obvious thing. And of course, it comes out of the British habit of British speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
The king's language. I mean, boy, talk about class orientation. Whoa.
Yeah.
It was all based on how well you spoke English.
That was it. Yeah. From our text line 478-8298, John Quincy Adams was a Unitarian.
Well, there you go. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
I wouldn't have. I'd have to look up and see what a Unitarian. Well, I guess that would be like a libertarian, like today. I would assume.
It's sort of rolling in the aisles and kind of knocking. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, my wife's parents were Unitarian, and they drug us to a service once, and if you haven't been, it's quite an experience. So, by all means, check it out. Let's see. Love in the timeline on commercial break. Very astute. Never listen to the commercials. So there you are. Yeah.
Well, if you download,
you won't have to. Yeah, if you download our app or our shows, you won't have to listen to commercials or anything else. So it's nonstop fun and enjoyment over there. We're at where are we now? We're at 1,061 downloads of our shows. So
huge, baby, huge.
Yeah. We're doing pretty well over there. So we appreciate that very much, you guys doing that. And so our poll question of the day: which fast food serves the best French fries in Bozeman? We got McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, Arby's, Best Burger, Ale Works, Five Boys. So go over and vote at KMMSAM.com or on your smartphone app at AM 1450 KMMS. And let us know who you think has the best burgers in Bozeman right now. Let's take a quick look at our poll numbers, and McDonald's still in the lead at 66%. Oh, no, that's the hot dog. Sorry. Which one? McDonald's is in the lead with 50% of the vote. Wendy's 12.5%, and Burger King 12.5%, Dairy Queen 12.5%, Ale Works 12.5%, and Arby's, Best Burger, and Five Boys, no votes yet. But if you like those fries, go over and vote. And that'll do it. So get over there. Get over there and check it out. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Dumb people buy timeshares. Well, okay. From our text line. Well, I went to, we advertised one some time ago. And when I was in Vegas, I went to this particular place, and they have quite a spiel. They do have quite a spiel, man. And they're getting people signed up there left and right and everything like that.
Yeah, they're good at selling them.
They are good at selling them, that's for sure. So, but
so, I have to say there are a couple that are really good, because if you can exchange and go different places, so you don't go to the same place every year for 2 weeks or a week, whatever. That's sort of cool, because then you're making a choice to do that. But it's a lifestyle choice, because if you live in the Gallatin Valley, look what you have to do. I mean, other than boating, you have everything else to do. So it's a lifestyle choice. Do you go take trips around the world or to different places, or do you go skiing, right? Like, do you spend the winter skiing, or do you go snowshoeing? Or get a skidoo or whatever,
Well, the only time that timeshares are available in ski season is during July and August. So
that's right.
You can't get in there unless you own the timeshare.
That's right. That's correct.
So, I suppose it works for some people. I've talked to some people that say, hey, it's a great deal. We could go down here. But, as some people point out that, they can hit you with additional maintenance charges and, other things that are, in the contract that says we have the right to charge you more for mowing the grass or watering the lawn or whatever. So
that's
don't even think about doing anything like that. So, All right, we got a duck out here, pay a couple bills and things, and when we come back, we'll be covering the local news and 5 things you need to know. It's open lines today, no guests, so anything you guys want to talk about, 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Do you use our app chat at KMMS or on your smartphone at AM 1450 KMMS? Use the app chat to chat with us. Be happy to entertain your thoughts there. And, of course, you can always text us at 478-8298. So we'll be back with more right after this. Jennifer Bordy in tomorrow. And don't forget, July 26th, Tom and Shane live and in person at the Grand Tree, 6 o'clock in the highlight room on the backside in the convention center. We will be there live and in person. So come on out and meet and greet. And we'll be happy to say hello to you. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dan. 6 minutes after the hour, Thursday, July 11th, 2019, 62 degrees outside. Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor in the house, and Shaman Tomlin on the line from Vancouver. Well, he's not in Vancouver. He's in Cantaloupe right now.
I'm in the high desert, baby.
The high desert area. Yeah. It's all sand out there, I guess.
Yeah, it is all sand. Very good. Yeah. Sagebrush and sand.
Well, this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, making radio great again. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking us along with you this morning and on your commute to work or wherever you happen to be going. And in local news, Yellowstone National Park. I haven't been there personally, but apparently a lot of people go there. They are looking at the Bacon Rind Fire, a 5,200-acre fire that lingered a while last year, where the park goes up against the Lee Metcalf Wilderness area, and lightning strike started it, and but snow put it out eventually in October. It is thanks to our spring and cooler weather, it is flourishing and growing back. And so we're happy with that. I remember in, when was it? 98? 88. 88. We had the big thing there in West Yellowstone, or in Yellowstone Park, rather. And boy, it came back better than ever. So
absolutely. The fire, allowed the forest to rejuvenate, which is what it does. Fire does that.
Yeah. So
I like this little bit of news. I thought it was a bit of an oxymoron for myself. I mean, American Indians and the wilderness, the environment, but MSU is cutting down trees for the American Indian Hall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you got
where are the environmentalists about this? You'd think they'd be clamoring, tying themselves to the trees. You can't do this. You're destroying the campus. This is terrible.
Yeah, they should build the hall around the trees.
Of course,
they should be inside, and just holes in the roof where it can snow in, and whatever. Yeah, they should be doing that. Yeah, we were going to get to that eventually, but thanks for bringing it up.
Running water and everything.
Well, yeah. Well, what can I tell you? It's let's see. From our text line, 478-8298, we've had a timeshare for 30 years at Fairmount Hot Springs and enjoy it thoroughly, signed. And, that was back in the last hour. We were talking about the timeshare things that were going on. The timeshare ad, I should say. So, we were chatting about that at least.
Well, there must be something to it because there are millions of them, right?
Well, that's true. They certainly are a popular thing. But anyway, getting back to local news, construction of the new home for the Bobcat football stadium came a little closer. The Board of Regents okayed an agreement to authorize $18 million for the project, and they also voted 4-0 to approve the plan to lease Bobcat Stadium to the MSU Alumni Foundation to allow the nonprofit to build the new complex once all the funding and donor commitments are secured. No federal money or no local taxpayer money is going to this thing. So if you'd like to donate to it, certainly. The regents also voted to allow MSU to spend up to $1.5 million, or $1.5 million, I should say. I guess that's 1.5. Right away to hire architects to design the project, and they're going to move all the athletic facilities over there for the football team that is now in Brick Breeden. So they have to get dressed over there and then hike over to the stadium. So they're not going to have to do that anymore. They'll all of their stuff will be there: locker rooms, coaches' quarters, and whatever, and some other things that athletes need. So they're going to have that all in one spot.
They're going to have new locker room, new weight room, new, before and after game rooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, commenting on how do I know that Yellowstone flourished after 1988? How the hell do you know? You've never been there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, very good.
Gotcha. I've seen pictures.
Yeah. So, there is film. You're right.
There's film and everything out there. So I don't know. One of these days I'm going to go, but just never have gotten around to it. I've either been working or been here. So
that's right. It's a long day.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've decided. So we're going to have to check it out. But anyway. In other news, the Broadwater County's having a problem. They've got a homicide over there. It's costing them $300,000 in federal money, and the county's going to have to put up some money for this thing too. So they don't know. So anyway. They're seeking donations from other counties to help prosecute a man accused of killing a sheriff's deputy in 2017. Lord Burris is charged with deliberate homicide and several other felonies in the shooting of a Broadwater County deputy, Mason Moore, near Three Forks. He was arrested in Missoula following more than a 100-mile chase that involved several law enforcement agencies and ended in a shootout that killed his son, Marshall. Near Rock Creek. He has pleaded not guilty, of course, to any of this. So, but anyway, the county attorney for Broadwater said the cost of prosecuting the case has become staggering for the small county. In 2018, he requested $25,000 each from Missoula, Powell, Anaconda, Deer Lodge, and Butte Silverbow counties to pay for mental health expert witnesses in the case. And Granite City pitched in $25,000 and is the only county to donate so far. so I don't know. There we are. So they're having their problems over there. Prosecuting this case has turned into big bucks for these witnesses and whatever. You got to pay these guys to come in here.
You'd think your state attorney's office would have a budget for that.
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's, you'd think that the county would turn it over, to the state attorney of the state, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And say, you prosecute this. We haven't the means to do it. And that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Which, to some degree it is, right? That's
well, I would say so, yeah. Well, in other news at MSU, the Montana Board of Regents debated Wednesday whether state campuses should start charging the public and reporters whenever they request copies of public documents. And I don't have a problem with it charging for that. They got to go get it. They got to copy it, I guess, or whatever, as long as they're public documents. I don't see a problem with charging folks for that. So
no,
yeah,
that's reasonable. That's what you call reasonable.
Yeah. Well, of course, one of them raised the issue that she's concerned about constitutional rights. They have a right to privacy and whatever. And I guess if they're public documents, then what's the harm? If they're private, then that's a whole nother, that is a constitutional thing. Let's take a phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, Tom and Shane, you guys are cutting a wide swath this morning.
Aren't we, though? Yeah, we're all over the place.
Here. Okay. Let's see. First off, this yahoo over there in Broadwater County, this is ridiculous. A bullet, is about 7 cents. We can take care of the whole situation. That guy is just, needs to go away. You're talking about the park, that whole, you really need to go there, Tom.
I do. I know I do.
Don't go now. Don't go now. Wait till the fall when the traffic's done. Go now, you'll never go again. Okay?
Yeah. Well, that's what everybody says. Yeah, we'll try to go in the fall. Well, from the time I retired till now, I've had 2 new knees and the wife's had some issues and things like that. So it isn't that we don't want to go. We've tried to go a time or two. Once we went down there and it was snowing so bad, we stayed overnight, shopped in West Yellowstone, and came back. So,
well, they've got great accommodations for guys like you and me.
They do,
hobble around with that.
It was. We had a fun time down there in West Yellowstone. But,
all their films that they put out are all from an environmentalist standpoint.
Right.
Okay? Extreme, and they don't talk about the millions of animals that burn up.
Oh yeah,
in
that's
those
true.
fires. And, it's absolutely ridiculous. You can attain the same effect by logging.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the biggest proponent of logging either, but we need to take care of our forest.
We do.
But I really wanted to ask you guys, when are you going to get started, getting these candidates in there for some serious interviews? Because they're piling up, man. We've got candidates for the state offices that I think we need to start, narrowing down. And I trust you guys way more to, the information that I glean off your program is probably the biggest influence I have in who I'm going to pick, when you do interviews with them.
Sure.
The debates they have on TV are so canned, I can't hardly even watch them. So,
well, we've had Joe Dooling in, of course. We've had Greg Gianforte in.
Right.
I did hear Greg. Yeah. No, I would encourage. We've got the Gallatin County Democrats. We've got the Gallatin County Republicans. I'm the easiest person in Gallatin County to find. All you got to do is let me know when you want to be here, and we'll get you on the air. Either by phone or in person, either or. So,
all right.
This is an open forum, and all views are welcome here. So, I may challenge you.
I want to give you guys kudos because you do a nice job in your interview. You're very thorough in your interview.
Well, thanks. We try to be.
Gives people a good chance to find out what people are really all about.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Well, as long as we're talking about candidates, second Democrat has entered the 2020 race for the U.S. Senate. John Muse, an engineer and military veteran from Loma, said Wednesday he's running on a platform that emphasizes creating high-paying jobs in the state, investing in education, and tackling climate change, of course. So there you go. I said it again. That's twice this morning. I don't like slogans, but I do like real solutions, he said. And I know the people at this juncture in the state and county's history are clamoring for real solutions because we have some tough challenges, challenging problems here, and we need to get them solved. So Muse joins Helena Mayor Wilmot Collins in seeking the party's nomination to challenge Republican incumbent Steve Daines. So we've got 2 folks over there that are running. And then, as Aaron alluded to, we got 2 more candidates that are running for the Montana's open House seat that Greg Gianforte's, of course, running for governor. So that seat is up. And we've got Matt Raines of Sims and Republican Timothy Allen Johnson of Corvallis. Those are the 2 that are bringing the total number of candidates to 7 for that seat.
Wow.
Yeah, so 4 Republicans are competing for the party nomination to replace Gianforte, Matt Rosendale, the state auditor, Secretary of State Corey Stapleton, Lewis and Clark Republican Chairman Joe Dooling, who we've had on the show, and now, of course, the Timothy Allen Johnson of Corvallis is joining the race. And Johnson is the superintendent of Corvallis Public Schools, making his first run for office. On the Democratic side, Raines joins former legislator Kathleen Williams and State Representative Thomas Winter. And Raines said he's a military veteran who flew helicopter missions in Iraq and South Korea and worked as an engineer in Missouri before taking over the family ranch in Sims. So that'll bring you up to speed on, I guess, everybody who's running. And, yeah, we want to get as many of them in here as we can. We will treat you fairly. I know Democrats sometimes feel that just being on this station, they get beat up by their constituents and anybody else because of our lineup of conservative talk show hosts. But, we're going to treat you fairly here. This is local. All the other guys are national, so this is important to us here in Montana. And, if anybody comes in here, we're certainly not going to beat you up. We're not going to call you names or anything like that. Or, we'll give everybody a fair shot at making your case. And, we might challenge you in some areas, but, if you can't take the heat, you shouldn't be in the kitchen. So we'll be back right after these important words from all the people who keep us on the air. So stay tuned. 24 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m., Thursday, July 11, 2019, 64 degrees outside. And Shane, I got a letter from the Health and Human Services.
Wow.
Yeah. And they are selecting people to do interviews, and they're paying you $30 for the interview.
Yeah, well, sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, and I did the interview.
Oh, now I'm really interested. I got to hear what the interview was. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sitting there in my leather recliner.
Yes.
And there's a knock on the door.
Uh-oh.
And it's a guy with a ID around his neck.
And a trench coat?
Well, he didn't have a trench coat on. It was warm, but anyway, he was. He says, you probably got the letter in the mail, and I'm going around interviewing people for this survey, and he asked me a couple of questions, and so he says, all right, you've been selected to participate in the survey. So we had to take the dogs to the vet for nail trims, and so I told him to come back. So we sat out on my porch.
Nail trim? You took your dog? You're great. I just love it. This is great.
What are you supposed to do with them?
No. I'm just, it's great. Keep going. This is good.
I mean, what do you want them to do? Rip you to shreds?
No. So you're sitting down with your newly trimmed dogs?
Yeah, I'm sitting down with my newly trimmed dog and this guy. And so he's got the computer out. He's got everything out here. And you take the survey on the computer yourself with headphones.
Oh, okay. So he's just sitting there, yeah.
Yeah, he's just sitting there. So you go in and they give you a little test thing so you learn how to run the computer and all that stuff. And then they go through all this stuff about your use of alcohol, your drugs. I've never seen so many drugs on this, but they got pictures of them. And have you even once taken this? Have you even once taken any of these? It's going on and on and on. And according to the thing, it takes about an hour to do this test. I did it in about a half an hour because I didn't wait for them to do the whole question, and say yes or no. I just, heroin, no,
yeah, exactly.
Ecstasy, no, whatever it was. And of course they asked about, have you thought about killing yourself? Have you thought about,
really?
Oh yeah. And they ask you at the hospital. They ask you that on a routine basis if you go to the hospital. They'll ask you if you had any thoughts about harming yourself or others or whatever. And they didn't ask anything about guns or anything like that, but mostly it was about, do you hate your job? Do you not want to go to work? Or have you skipped work? Or, how much tobacco do you use? How much booze do you use? All of this stuff. And
they didn't ask you if you were a citizen.
Actually, they did. They did.
Oh, they did?
They did, yeah. They asked if you were born in the United States. Yeah, they did ask
Wow.
they did ask that question. So, yeah, they did ask that. So, but anyway, and he gave me $30 cash. So, but I thought I better do this so I could talk about it on the radio if anybody out there is wanting to know, is this a scam? In fact, I called Tim Fox's office and asked if they had any reports of this being a scam or whatever,
right?
And so forth and so on. So, and and at the end of the interview, he says my supervisor may want to call you and see about my performance. Could you write down your phone number and address on this form? And so I did, and he gave me this envelope and told me to seal it in the envelope. He didn't see my phone number or my address or whatever. Mm-hmm. And supposedly at the end of the thing, you lock the computer so the interviewer can't see your answers. And, there isn't anything about your name, your address, or your anything else on the computer at the time. It's just the questions. So anyway, just FYI for anybody out there, if somebody comes to your door and says, hey, guess what? You can make $30 doing this survey. If you want to do it, fine. It's voluntary. You don't have to do it. And so there you are.
What was it actually government employed, like from the federal or state government, or was it someone they hired?
Well, I would imagine it's probably somebody they hired, although he did have the ID badge representing whoever. And, they gave me a receipt for the $30, that I got it and all that. So anyway, we got to get out of here. And we still have, we got a long time to go, hour and a half.
That's right.
So we'll be back with the 5 things you need to know right after this. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 11th, 2019, 67 degrees outside. Shane Matobin on the line with me. Tom Egeloff, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, making radio great again. And we're happy to be here to do that for you.
Indeed.
Yeah, from our text line, same news as yesterday at the bottom of the hour. Are we really repeating the same news again? Are we doing that again?
Can't possibly be us.
Well, I shipped an email off to the powers that be to see if we can do something about that. So I apologize for that. And thanks for the listeners keeping us up to date, because I'm doing other things here and not really paying attention to what's going on, because we got to make sure everything plays on time. And so all of that stuff. So let's see, 5 things you need to know, Shane. Well, is Acosta going? Is Trump going to fire him? That would be the easiest way to end this deal.
I guess so. It would
just kick him out. Yeah.
Because,
well, if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, Jeffrey Epstein, who was kind of made a plea deal with when Acosta was Attorney General of Florida at the time for child molestation or fooling around with underage women, and got a pretty lenient sentence. In fact, he went to work 6 days a week and went back to the jail on 1 day a week.
On 1 day a week.
Yeah, for not very long. And so now he's captured again for this. And so a lot of the news people are going, hey, how come this guy got off so leniently from what is now our Labor Secretary, Alexandra Acosta. And so they part of the claim is that at the time they didn't think they could get a full-blown conviction, so they made a plea bargain with him. And more information surfaced later on that would have made it pretty easy for them to put him away, but didn't have it at the time. So
the federal attorney for the Southern District of New York is involved in this, and they raided his apartment and opened his safe and found all kinds of stuff.
Yep, they did. All kinds of bit nasty stuff in there. So he's pretty well on his way to a long term in prison. But this thing with Acosta is reflecting on Trump, of course. And so the easy way to fix that is just kick him out the door or throw him under the bus, as they say, So let's see what let's see what the callers have to say. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is Clint.
Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Morning, Shane.
Good morning, good sir.
Well, how's it in Canada today? Is it pretty and nice and the sun's out?
It's a nice, beautiful day today. Yes, it should be hot, clear, and blue.
Well, that's kind of what it is here, too.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the way I think. I'm kind of like a vigilante. I think anybody molests children like that, they should do like Utah does, and their death penalty, take them out against a wall and shoot them. Just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fit to be living. And I don't care if he's rich, poor, or indifferent, whoever does things like that, that's what should happen to him, in my opinion. But here's one other thing. I have never in my life, even with Nixon and the Watergate scandal, I have never seen a Democratic Party after a president like they've been after Mr. Trump. And it says something to me, and I've said it before. We're at a political civil war with each other. They're not doing the people's business. They are doing the businesses of the parties. And it kind of makes me wonder about our country, I don't know, what do you think, Tom? What do you think, Shane? What do you think about this?
Oh, well, I find it interesting because it's consistent with your politics. I mean, the difficulty that people, I think, have is understanding when people are talking politics and they're talking policy. So that's the only thing I would say, that there needs to be more discussion of policy and what you're going to do, and less about something bad about somebody.
That's right. Well, that's about parties. See, it isn't about the what the American people need or what they want or how they should. It isn't. They're not doing their job. The job that they're doing, the parties are doing, to try to destroy a man that became the president of this country. He didn't have a lot of votes. He had, I think, about 70 million, somewhere in there. But anyway, I respect him. I don't care if he's rich or poor or who he is, as long as he's take care of the people. And it's the people's business that he's after. What's your opinion, Tom?
Well, I think the big problem is that we're coming up on 18 months to an election.
Yeah.
And Trump has had way too many wins. He's had way too many, he passed the tax cut. He moved the Israel embassy. He got the prison reform done. He got the opportunity zones going. He's had a lot of successes here, and the Democrats just can't afford for him to have too many successes. Everyone he has makes him more formidable in November of next year.
Well, don't you think?
And the only thing you can do, it's pretty hard to attack the stock market being at an all-time high, S&P being at an all-time high, NASDAQ being at an all-time high, and even with the tariff situation, when was the last time you heard anybody griping about the tariffs? I mean, that's non-existent. Now it's what Nancy can't control the House of Representatives, and you got this Acosta thing coming up, and now if Trump is affiliated with Acosta, that's going to be a pretty tough thing to overcome, as you said. None of us tolerate being with kids.
Pedophilia, I don't.
Exactly, yeah. And if Trump, if there's any smoking gun there, I don't think even the staunchest supporters they're going to run for cover. They're going to. You know, he will probably be the nominee, but that would ensure a Democratic victory, I think.
I don't think the Democrats have a chance in hell of winning the presidency myself.
Well, but what are you going to have, Clint, when this 24 or 20, you're going to have the bloodiest guy left or girl left, I mean, standing there dripping blood from, now Trump went through the same thing, I mean, he beat up on 17 Republicans.
Yeah, I understand all that. Well, there's many of them in there in the Democrat side. There isn't a one of them that I see, even including Bullock, our president governor, that could have the power or the money to overcome them.
Yeah. Well, Tom Steyer just threw his hat in the ring. He would have the money, but he's not going to go anywhere. And
not popular.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows who he is,
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, the guy donated $91 million to Democrats in 2016 to beat Trump, and he's put a lot of money into impeaching Trump, but that ain't going to happen because A, they don't have time to do it, and B, they're all going to be out campaigning because the entire House is up for re-election. So when are they going to hold impeachment hearings? And I mean, that could take months, even years, by the time they get that thing done.
Well, I think that probably what's going to happen here, I think the Republican Party will take back the House. Mm-hmm. I think they will.
Well, they certainly could. It really depends on the state races and how reasonable. If all the Democratic candidates in the state races go as left as the party seems to be trying to do, they're not going to be very successful. I think a lot of the Democrats running locally are going to be middle of the road, and they're not going to go with this, immigration and, raising your taxes and free education and all that stuff because, I don't think the public's going to buy it.
Well, there's this much I do know. There's been Democrats and Republicans help Trump in the various different things that he's got passed.
Well, that's true. And, as I say, they've turned him into a victim, quite honestly, in my opinion anyway.
Well, I agree with you.
With all this going after him for everything, if the Mueller thing had produced anything, then he'd be in real trouble. Well, but it didn't, and everything else that they've thrown at him hasn't stuck. And Nadler and all these guys with their committees and everything. Again, as I say, they're going to be out campaigning. Their heart is just not going to be in these investigations.
Well, they tried everything they could.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
To discredit Mueller, they couldn't do it.
Yep.
They could not do it. And so anyway, I think
Mueller will be in next week, so we'll see what he has to say. But I don't think he's gonna deviate from his report.
Nope.
I mean, that's all he can testify on. And as Shane points out, the one question we'd like to know is when did you know Trump wasn't colluding with the Russians? And I would say probably on day one. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, the thing is when the Congress gets done with him, it's going to hurt him.
Yep.
It's going to hurt the Congress, and it's going to hurt the Democrats bad.
Well, I don't think they realize that. I think Nancy's the only one that realizes this, and she's not, she's trying to control her little group, but they're sucking all the oxygen out of the room for these folks, and they're not going to be stopped, and it's going to damage their party, I believe, in the long run. Maybe AOC's rhetoric will get old and people will stop covering it because it's so stupid, but I don't know. Anyway, I got to go, Clint. Hey, thanks for the call.
I'll leave you with this question.
Go for it.
Who is going to become our next president? I want somebody to show me which one of them candidates out there have the power to become president and is well known. That's my
in the Democratic Party, you mean?
Democratic Party.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll answer that when we come back. Okay, thanks for the call. All right. We'll be right back. 10 minutes for the top of the hour, and man, we got a lot to get in here, Shane, before the top of the hour. Wow. Got a 4-minute break coming up, so we got a caller waiting on the phone, so let's take a quick phone call, and we got to take another break. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, hey, Tom. Kind of my main point was this, is that, we make a big deal about the President of the United States, but, my understanding is he is the president just of the states. He's not the president of us, the people, per se. We don't actually vote directly for him. We're voting in our state for candidates via the Electoral College.
Right.
And in my opinion, the best, the strongest government, or the strongest branch of the government, should be Congress. We elect Congress to represent us, the people, right? And it used to be our state government elected our senators, and they represented our states. That's why there's 2 per state for equal representation and a balance in power somewhat. But, and I don't know, it just seems like things are out of whack. They're not the way they're supposed to be.
Well,
and
I think
us people are electing all 3 branches, and that's not how it's supposed to be. How is there a balance in there when you have, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I do fully. And it used to be when I was growing up, the Democrats and Republicans would sit down and they would take the best of the Republican ideas and the best of the Democrat ideas and put them together and vote on them. But they don't do that anymore. It's my way or the highway. It seems like, anyway, that the Republicans won't bend, the Democrats won't bend, and, they almost have to have their back to the wall. How many times have we had a debt ceiling vote that went down to the wire? I mean, come on. I mean, how stupid is that?
It's funny. Everything becomes an emergency, too.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
We need to make this happen quick.
Yeah, we got to pass this immediately.
Like Obamacare.
Yeah,
we threw Obamacare in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's lots of other things like that we've just crammed down through the pipe.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have got done because, they scare us people. If you're not following it, and it doesn't take much, if you kind of like get away from it, so much stuff happens that you can't even catch. It's so hard to get back up to speed with all the bull crap that's going on.
I know, yeah. That's what we're sitting out here and we're saying, why can't you guys work together? What's wrong with immigration? What's wrong with passing a health care bill? Sit down and make it happen. Come on.
Well, it's the same problem. You get down under the county level, and you can't. I was at a meeting last night in Broadwater County about, and the attorney thing actually came up too.
Yeah.
And they didn't sound very happy about it. But,
no, they're going to have to come up with some money somewhere.
You can't solve problems on the county level or your little city level. I mean, imagine the scope that they've taken on. They've taken on way too much.
Sure.
They've overstepped their bounds on all these social programs and everything. I mean, none of this stuff should be in place, in my opinion.
There you go. I got to go.
Now it's like, how do we help the people? How do we help the people?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Get away. Leave us alone. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for the call. I got to go. Hey, thanks a lot. We'll be right back. 2 minutes before the top of the hour. Well, 2.5 minutes before the top of the hour, Shane. So whatever it is, we'll be. Well, Clint asked the question: who do you think of the possible candidates will be the last man-woman standing, Shane?
Yeah, it's really tough to say. I think Beto's finished. I think Biden's finished. I think that Booker's finished. I mean, a couple. It's got to be a woman. That's what I think. It'll be a woman. It'll be one of the women. I mean, it won't be Kamala because she's got the Jamaican slave deal. And, so, I mean, you just can't.
Well, that leaves you with Warren or
what's her name from
Gabbard,
New York?
Gabbard and Gillibrand.
Gillibrand and the gal from Michigan, the senator. But anyway, the point is I would be shocked if somebody else joined, but gosh, just yesterday somebody else joined, so, right?
Let's see if we can get a phone call in for the top of the hour. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Real quick, just off the subject.
Sure.
Just heading into work, a conservative, but I'm actually going in to sell some firewood, which is a true renewable resource. But they don't talk about it. And there's a boat with a Stop the Smith River Mine or No Smith Mine on its sticker on the boat. And I just was at the stoplight next to the guy, and as we started going, I came up next to him and I just said, "Your vehicle was mined." And the look of perplexion on their faces, they just don't understand it.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing, isn't it?
All right. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Well, the listeners hold my feet to the fire, Shane, from our text line 4788298. Tom, earlier you said pleaded. What the hell happened to pled? So I don't know. I stand corrected. Thanks to the texter for keeping me honest. So he pled instead of pleaded. All right. Hey, thanks for the call. We'll be right back with more right after this. Thank you, Dan. 6 minutes after the hour. It's Thursday, July 11th, 2019. 74 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid-80s. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, and Cantaloops with us this morning. Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor. Welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, making radio great again. Our poll question of the day, which fast food joint serves the best French fries? 30% so far have voted for McDonald's, 21% for Best Burger, 8% like Wendy's, Burger King, Ale Works, and Five Boys, and 4% like Dairy Queen, Arby's, and some place called Mark's In-N-Out. So I don't know if we have a Mark's In-N-Out here in Bozeman or not, but
wow.
So you could, we're asking fast food, so I don't know. In-N-Out Burger, probably pretty good.
Yep.
I've had In-N-Out burgers. I've had In-N-Out burgers.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're really good. Yep.
Yeah. I remember when they came to San Diego, and they were right off an exit off the freeway, and the exit was backed up for, I bet, 5 miles. I bet 5 miles to get in that drive-through lane.
Yeah, it's a drive-through lane,
Yeah. It was amazing, yeah.
It really is, yeah. And the thing about it is that they're small and they're very quick to put together. They're like
it's all natural stuff too. They they have real potatoes there. They hash up, and they got the not frozen beef, and it's everything's made to order for you. It's not sitting there under a heat lamp, and it's a pretty good deal. Yeah, but
it is good. Yeah, and they make great milkshakes.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of people wonder why they haven't gone somewhere else or gone nationwide, and I think it's because their business model is small. It's prohibitive to get the beef and everything to them, so they're just kind of in a few cities in California where they can provide everything. So that's what they do.
And Las Vegas.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they went over there as well. So yeah. Okay, continuing with the 5 things you need to know. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is at it again. She wants the Department of Homeland Security abolished. Wow.
Yeah.
Of course she does. Yeah.
Well,
let's get rid of that. Get rid of ICE. Get rid of anything that whatever.
Yeah, and then whatever's right, because clearly the Democrats intentionally, it has to be, are telling the American people they're for open borders. And here's what's so confusing. They complain about what's happening on your border to the south. They want people to come across, and they want them to allow them to have sanctuary, hire a lawyer, and go through a process to a judge and be allowed in the country. Well, here on the reverse side of that now, you've got Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, going out and picking up people who've gone through that process, been told by a judge to leave the country and haven't.
Yeah.
So and now they want to stop ICE from picking up people that shouldn't be here, and they want to give people the right to come here when they don't want to follow the laws. They're breaking the law to begin with, and then if they don't get what they want, they're going to break the law and stay anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing, Tom. This is really bad.
Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yeah, Tom, this is Frank. I needed to say that you need to get out a little more often.
I probably do. I'm here or I sleep. That's
Mark's In-N-Out is over in Livingston.
Oh, it is. Oh, you're right. Okay, I forgot. Yeah.
Since 1954, and you go over there in the evening, and it is almost always packed.
All right.
It's a great little place. You just drive right up. You stand right up front, like the old, like the old drive-ups in back in the 50s, and you order your pizza burger and your milkshake and your root beer floats, and
all right.
You either sit in your car and eat, or you stand right there and eat it, and it's a wonderful place. So I would say you need to get over to Livingston and give it a try.
Okay, all right.
You know that's a long way for Tom to go. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's like 28 miles. I mean, that's
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the length of time it'll take me to get there. Some animals don't live that long, you know.
It's a nice drive.
It is a nice drive. Yeah, I like Livingston a lot. It's a great place. Yeah, we get over the Rib and Chop House every once in a while over there, which is pretty nice. But hey, thanks for the input. Yeah, I've added it as an answer to the poll. So
All
right. Thanks, man. All right, let's take another phone call. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, you were asking about the candidate. Which Democrat candidate could rise to the top?
Who do you think is going to be?
Well, I think that a candidate like Tulsi Gabbard could rise, except for women don't like good-looking women.
I was going to say I could look at her for 4 years very easily, but you're probably right. Yeah,
have a plain, ugly old drone.
Yeah. Well, Hillary didn't get elected, and she was a hot babe.
But they were resentful of a good-looking woman.
Yeah.
Well, there is something to be said for that. That's very true. So
I just don't see America electing a pagan. That's all.
Yeah.
If she could unify women and the veterans, she could win.
I know. Yeah, she was. She's a Iraq vet.
Except for the ugly, she has to get that ugly woman vote.
Yep. All right. Hey, thanks, man. Let's take another call. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, you got me with the cheeseburgers. That's like the subject I can never get angry about.
Okay.
The thing about the In-N-Out franchise that started in Cali, they don't go all over the country because they only do fresh beef, and they will only go like a certain amount of miles from where they get their beef. Yeah,
that's what I was saying earlier. That using all fresh products, their business model is a local business model.
If you are a diehard cheeseburger fan like me who likes to go for road trips, there's one just north of Salt Lake City down there by Ogden, right on the interstate.
Oh yeah, all right.
Oh, there you go.
And also, Tom, when you get the In-N-Out burger after you eat, just if your adventure is just, if it's just rising in you, head south and check out the national park. If you bring me the receipt, I will personally come in and give you the cash for your entrance fee and pay you that. Okay?
Well, I'm wondering if it'd be worth it to buy the senior lifetime pass at my age.
Well, I think they might be free now.
Over a certain age, I think you do get in free. So I'll have to.
My mom's is free, and she just turned 70. So.
Oh well, hey, then I'm free, man. I'm in there.
You should do it before it blows up, because with all these earthquakes in California, they're sure it's going to erupt here pretty soon.
Well, I was worried about that when they started having these big earthquakes in California. I'm thinking, what's that doing to Yellowstone?
I thought there was a cow in my field that farted, so I'm worried that the other one's going to fart too. So, all right, have a good day.
All right, hey, thanks for the call.
Yeah,
all right,
thanks for the call.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking out Michelle Wolf's window over here at Mendenhall through the production studio, and she has her blinds open today, so I can actually see outside with I can see the leaves blowing and everything, and I'm waiting for the flash, from Yellowstone to come cranking through that window.
We have to convince you of a road trip, okay? That's what the deal is.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll make it sometime. Let's see. Are you kidding me? The Neanderthal who called and said women wouldn't vote for good-looking women is an idiot. Smart women don't roll that way, and I'm assuming that's from a woman.
Yes.
Let's see. Regarding Trump and Epstein, why would you expect any Trump supporter to believe anything the Democrats or the media says? If the entire media went on the air tonight and announced the sun will rise in the east tomorrow, I would grab my binoculars and start scanning the western sky. And that's a sign. That's a signed quote. Maybe look at 7 o'clock programming. They're playing July 5th every evening. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. There are better options out there, Clyde Lewis for one. So I again sent another blast off to the folks that take care of that stuff. So let's take another phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Morning, guys.
Hey.
The old man pass, well, I'm a man, so the old man pass to get into the national parks costs $80 now.
Ooh.
When I called my dad up to brag to him that I got one, and well, he's 88, and he says, when I got mine, it was free.
Yeah.
So it used to be free, but now you got to pay $80.
Wow. Okay.
And I just bought one last year. I was going through the Grand Canyon, and I was hauling some horses down to Arizona, and so it's almost paid for itself because I used it there, and then I used it on the way back through.
Well, I was going to say, if you get the nationwide pass, I guess that's what we're talking about there, right? Get you in any national park, yeah.
Yep, and you can get in the national monuments as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal if you're going to live long enough to use it, and you know, there's so many tourists.
That's my problem.
There's so many tourists over going to Yellowstone right now. It's like who wants to go over there?
Yeah, right.
Get stuck in a bear jam. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you guys go.
Hey, thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back with more after this. 20 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m., it is Thursday, July 11, 2019, 75 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, on the line with me, and we've got a caller patiently waiting, Shane, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, my name is Peter, and I'm in Bozeman, and I was just calling to I wanted to mention that I wanted to talk about Omar and how I feel like every time that people disagree with Democratic politicians, I feel like the race card is being pulled way too much, and I think it's very unfair to any argument and any purpose, and I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that, and I just feel like it's being way overplayed.
I think it's way overplayed, and the problem with it being way overplayed is that it loses its effectiveness when there actually is a racist situation.
Yeah, and I just, the most frustrating part is I feel like whenever you get in an argument and you disagree, people accuse you of being white privilege or people accuse you of being racist, and I just think...
Well, generally, that's what happens when they can't defeat the argument. You know, when they don't have their facts on their side in a row, that then the attack goes out. And I think that's, you look at people shouted down in restaurants or conservative speakers being shouted down at universities. You don't see conservatives shouting down liberal speakers at universities. They just don't go, to the thing. They don't put on masks and destroy property and set things on fire and, go nuts. They want, a perfect example is that Omar wanted Tucker Carlson silenced or off the air. Well, okay. Why?
Yeah, it's just very frustrating because I think it's gotten to a point. I think it needs to be called out more by Washington and all the politicians.
Oh, I think it does too. I always thought I would get myself a MAGA hat, wear it into some restaurant, and if somebody gets in my face, I'll take my MAGA hat off, put my veterans hat on, and say, "Hey, you hate veterans, you're a racist."
Yeah.
Put on my Vietnam vet hat and say, "You hate veterans. Holy smokes, this guy hates veterans." And see how they react to that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just a frustrating situation, and I hope we can do more as a country.
Well, I hope so too. Yeah. Well, I think people need to discuss issues. If you don't like, a person's point of view, that's what I've said. All views are welcome here. I'm not going to, it's not my beliefs that I'm promoting here, but it's a discussion of all sides. And, if you can make your case, I'll change my mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
And it needs to be constructive because I feel like
exactly.
You start yelling and saying that and pulling that card.
Oh yeah,
it ruins the whole conversation. There's no way to move forward.
Sure.
And it just So,
yeah. All right.
Well, thank you for letting me call in.
All right. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you listening. Thank you very much. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay. I didn't kind of went away there for a minute.
Oh, well, that was just me falling asleep when I knew it was you.
Okay, maybe it was. You know, I guess this would follow in with everything you guys are talking about. But first of all, I think the Democrat Party is a cult. I don't think they're a political party anymore at all. But this came out yesterday or the day before. Facebook updated their community standards, and they published it, I guess, to everybody. And it says, do not post threats that could lead to death and other forms of high-severity violence of any targets where threat is defined as any of the following. Here's the following. Statements of intent to commit high-severity violence or calls for high-severity violence unless the target is an organization or an individual covered in the dangerous individuals and or organizations policy. So in other words, Facebook will now tell you who you can threaten with high violence or high severity violence.
Well, good. I'm glad they've got it narrowed down to just a group.
Well, I mean, if that's not a sign of the times, I don't know what is. Who the hell does this guy think he is?
No, yeah.
I mean, that's ill. I mean, and when he walks around, somebody needs to slap him right upside the kisser.
Yeah. There you go.
Give me a break.
That sounds like high violence to me. I don't know. I'm going to have to turn you into the Facebook police.
Right. But where's the discourse come? These people, like you said, these people don't want discourse. If they did, they wouldn't label you every time they can't defeat your argument.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That
I know, and that's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, and also, the racist card just doesn't have the effect that it had, and when you run into real racism, it's diluted. So, because it's so overused.
They're the ones that purvey it.
Well, I understand that.
Kill Whitey, kill the president.
Well, yeah.
And you got Antifa running around beating the hell out of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that does not support discourse. Who wants to talk to these people?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anything to say anyway. If they did, they wouldn't be calling you a racist because of the color of your skin.
Yeah. Well. I don't know.
I don't know. We're on a dangerous sea, and a boat that's leaking like a sieve right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are off the deep end. I can't even listen to them anymore.
Well, yeah, we have to. Unfortunately, Shane and I have to, but.
Yes, that's right.
Well, the thing is, Tom.
Pay attention.
Right now, CNN, MSNBC, and all these loons, and they're loons, believe me,
mm-hmm.
they get more airtime with other people playing their clips than they actually have listeners and watchers on their channel.
Well, absolutely. That's probably true too.
I mean, maybe the trick is just don't air it at all.
Yeah.
If you want to see what these wackos got to say, you go to their channel, and these other guys, just forget it. I mean, I understand they're pointing out the problems that they have, but just don't air them. Just ignore them, because that's all they deserve.
Yeah.
To be ignored. But anyway,
that's your rant for the day.
That's my rant for the day, man.
All right, man.
Enjoy the sunshine.
All right. Thanks for the call. Let's get one more call in before we got to go. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Morning. This is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, I just want to apologize for ranting and raving on there the other day about climate change. No one wants to listen to that yelling and screaming.
Well, that's okay. all views are welcome here. I've got no problem. I got no problem with your argument at all. I mean, come on,
And then, so I'd like to understand though why everybody's complaining about, all these Republicans are complaining about Facebook. It's a private company and they can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want.
Yep. I mean, so if you want Facebook that can't do whatever it's want, maybe the government should start one.
No, there you go. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thanks, yeah.
All right, gotta go. All right, we got to duck out here, pay a couple bills, and we got Fox News, we got Montana State News, we got Brooke Foster with the weather, we got the Montana Gift Corral, Ford Motor, we got Walgreens, and Mark Levin. As I've said, this show has everything, man. This is like it's like a smorgasbord of radio. So we'll be right back. We'll continue making radio great again right after this. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, July 11, 2019, 75 degrees outside right now. The temperature's climbing up there, Shane. We're looking for a high in the mid-80s, and hopefully it'll get there today. It looks pretty sunny outside as I look over at Michelle Wolf working hard at the Moose.
Well, a hot show will raise the temperature.
That is it. That is for sure. All right. Well, we're having a hot show. Let's see. Need to catch up on our text line, 478-8298. FYI, it's 5 guys, not boys. I did change that on the poll. And they have the best fries because they are fried in peanut oil and source local potatoes. So there you are.
That's right. And they give you a bag of them, man. They give you a major load of fries.
Oh, yeah, major load of fries. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. Don't you dare smack Zuckerberg. Putin is his good buddy. So,
yeah, right.
I guess yeah, because he put all the ads on Facebook to defeat Hillary Clinton. So, yeah, he's a good buddy with that. So, if you apply the argument that Facebook is a private company and can do what it wants, then it should apply to a bakery that refuses to bake a wedding cake. Well, I sort of agree with that, depending on the situation, but the gays are not a protected class federally, but they are in many states. So you would have a discrimination there that you wouldn't have. Well, Facebook could, if Facebook discriminated against you because you were gay or black or whatever they
or white.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't think just white. There's no discrimination against whites that I'm aware of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess I don't know.
I just thought I should check that out. You know.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good question.
The left will celebrate severe violence being perpetrated only on Christians, Jews, conservatives, and the unborn. So, there you go.
Ouch.
And I said it again. Okay, that's 3 times this morning. I've said there you go, 4 times if you want to count that one. So I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I'm working hard on this now. I'm getting, I'm doing the best I can. Let's take a phone call. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up? Hello.
Hello there.
Okay, not there.
Oh wait.
I'm waiting.
Oh, I don't think
so.
Nope,
nothing there. Okay, sorry about that. So we'll persevere on.
And they will call back.
They will call back, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. 5 things you need to know. Well, the Iranian boats tried to seize a British oil tanker, but a British warship came along and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like, would you please back away?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, exactly. A Royal Navy frigate, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's incredible because in the 21st century, a frigate is a pretty awesome piece of equipment.
I would think so. Yeah.
They got rockets and
it was escorting the tankers, trained its deck guns on the Iranian boats, and ordered them to back off.
Exactly.
So
well, I in the context of what we're talking about, it is somewhat funny because of how it ended. But when you look at the markers that we talk about, things that are out of anyone's control.
Yeah.
This kind of thing could escalate into a major issue and cause a lot of problems for the global economy, and as well, the global allegiance as to how to deal with Iran. Because, the bottom line is, if anybody attacks Iran, that's an act of war.
Well, according to them, they think the sanctions are an act of war.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're doing things like this and taking actions like they have in the last month to precipitate some type of, action. And I thought it was pretty smart of your president to back off, because if he had gone through with that, even if it was proportional, attack a gas plant or a refinery, it's an act of war.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been interesting if the British frigate would have blown this Iran ship out of the water, and then England and Iran go to war, and we could just sit back and watch.
Yeah, the Falkland Islands all over again. Right?
Yeah, we'll just send Twinkies over to help you out. We'll sit back and watch.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I think a war with England would last about 10 minutes in Iran's situation too.
Yeah, exactly. They're pretty good.
All right.
Which takes us back to the Suez Canal, if you remember, right?
Yeah. All right. We got to take a break. We'll be right back right after this. 15 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, July 11th, 2019, 76 degrees outside. It keeps climbing every time we come back from a break, Shane. It's pretty cool. We're looking for a high in the mid-80s today. Sun shining outside. Looks pretty nice out there. And we're here at the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, making radio great again. And, we got New Orleans. They're being flooded. Narlands been flooded. Narlands being flooded. And possible hurricane out there, too. They got a tropical storm right off the coast, and it may hit them, may hit Texas. Who knows? So anyway,
right.
they got a state of emergency going on there. The entire coast of Louisiana is at play in the storm, and they're looking for at least 12 inches of rain, and certainly the cresting of the waves and whatever, wind blowing the waves in there can do some damage. And, of course, they're below sea level in Ward 9 there that got flooded during Katrina, as we well know. Mm-hmm. So they are in big trouble there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as to how that plays along. I don't know about number 5 on this. Human skull found in Greek cave, oldest ever discovered outside of Africa. Is that really one of the 5 things I need to know?
It saddens me to know it took us 200,000 years to evolve.
I know, yeah. And we haven't yet on this show anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Well, there's a couple other things I wanted to touch on here before we run out of time. One is that I don't know if you saw the soundbite, or I guess the video clip. The mayor of St. Louis Park, Minnesota, wants the city council to restore the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know if you saw that.
Not restored, just stopped. They don't want to say it anymore.
Well, they don't want to say it anymore, but they want the mayor wants them to restore the pledge at meetings.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw this. They decided that to be diverse and to be welcoming and everything, the Pledge of Allegiance is just downright offensive to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, you can't say it in schools anymore, and, it's just an offensive statement that just has no place in America any longer. And the city council here in this St. Louis Park, Minnesota, decided that, we don't want to offend anybody, so we're just not going to say it anymore. And all the people stood up and said it anyway. And
exactly.
They had about a 40-minute meeting where everybody's holding up flags and everything. They're just the folks in Minnesota, which is a blue state, by the way.
That's right.
Have had enough of this political correctness crap.
Yeah, and it's going to be, that's why this whole election now is so interesting, because as we've talked a number of times, I think the Democrats are seriously concerned at losing the grip on the African-American vote. Mm-hmm. And, they're trying everything including the race card to scare blacks into continuing to support them. But I think the end of the tail, the dog wags its tail long enough, and the end of the tail is telling the dog enough is enough.
Yeah. Well, when you have the president of BET, Black Entertainment Television, come out and say Trump's a good guy and has done a lot for the, for the country and for blacks in particular, with them having the lowest unemployment ever recorded. And I think the Democrats have abandoned the blacks, and they've given that vote up, in my opinion. Otherwise, they wouldn't be all over this immigration thing, everybody going down to the border, kill children in cages, ICE rounding up, a million people? They're planning on deporting 1 million people out of the U.S.?
That's right.
Yeah, so, yeah. That's a lot of votes before the election.
This is a serious quagmire.
Well, it really is. And in another instance, you may have seen this soundbite too, where the assistant hockey coach went viral for telling his players, "You kneel, or don't put your hand on the heart during this national anthem. You're out of here."
Yeah, right.
And he didn't pull any bones about it, and used profanity with his kids. You're not the NHL. You're not the NBA. You're not the NFL. Knock it off. So he said you go out there and you respect the flag, and I think we're seeing more and more of this where people are starting to stand up to this political correctness BS. And they're just not going to take it anymore. And I think it's high time that people stood up, and there are certain things about America that are traditions that need to be upheld. Pledge is one of them. Flag's one of them.
Yeah.
So
your national anthem. I mean,
absolutely.
These are all relevant and important traditions that they're invaluable. They're invaluable to the consistent view of being a good citizen.
Yeah. All right, we got the Rush Update coming up next. When we come back, of course, we've got to talk about Biden and the tax loopholes and all the money he's making. So what a guy this guy is. He just never ends with this guy. We'll be right back with more on Biden right after this. 4 minutes for the top of the hour. We're winding this down, Shane. We've got to talk a little bit. Well, from our text line, 478-8298, a pledge of allegiance is a pledge of fealty, a medieval ritual. That doesn't make it wrong.
No, it doesn't. No.
All right.
Anyway, Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. Got to talk about Joe.
Yeah, now here this
Jurassic Joe.
Yeah, he's 76, so he's been collecting Social Security and pensions that they both have developed over the years. Now, when he went in 56 years ago to politics, when he was in the Senate, he was out. He always played the role of the poorest guy in the Senate. He had to take the Amtrak train. So the last years of being vice president, because he was in his 70s when he was vice president, right?
Right.
So so he earned an average of $225,000 a year, and his wife an average of $83,000 a year on what do you call it? Retirement, pension retirement. What I love the best is $240,000 a year in Social Security benefits. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you can't make
$30,000 a year. He made $240,000 in Social Security benefits, which works out to about $30,000 a year.
No, Social Security's capped. You can't make that much on Social Security.
Well, that's what they have here on.
Well, they're not correct because.
Anyway, it's craziness. He's got $15 million in speeches and book money.
That's where his money's coming from. And the interesting thing about this, nobody knew anything about this until he released his tax returns.
That's right.
That's right. So Trump is saying, see, that's why I'm not releasing mine.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, and these are tax returns from 2015. So, apparently he's got another 4 years to release. So,
well, we'll see. We'll see if he may have learned his lessons. Maybe
at some point he shouldn't he?
Well, I'm wondering if his son gave him a finder's fee for the Russian deal. Or the Chinese deal, rather.
1.5 billion?
Yeah, right.
Billion? Yeah, there you go. All right, buddy.
Finder's fee will be a lot. Well, you're leaving off a little early here, aren't you?
No, it's 7:58.
Well, 7:58
My
50.
time.
7:50 or 8:58:50 is when the music plays.
Oh.
So you can say goodbye if you want to.
You lost me.
Okay. Oh, on the phone? Well, there's no calls anyway, so don't worry about
it. All right.
Don't worry about it.
Still talk. I can still talk. Right?
You can still talk, yeah. So now you can say goodbye if you want to.
I can say now it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, now you can say goodbye.
Goodbye, Mayor. Talk to you in the AM. Have a great day.
And it'll be finally Friday.
That's right. Be happy, be safe, buddy.
All right, man. See you tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the texts. Thanks for supporting the show. And, hey, we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning. Hey, don't forget, July 26th, Shane and Tom live and in person at the Grand Tree Hotel here in Bozeman. We'll be in the Highlight Room, 6 o'clock on Friday, July 26th. So show up. It's free. Come on down and meet us, and we'll be happy to entertain you and spend some time with you and answer any questions you might have and all of that stuff. So also, too, guess what? I've got City Brew gift cards, $20 City Brew gift cards, 522-TALK, 522-8255. I'll give away the fifth caller, $20 City Brew gift cards.